Hey homesteaders, welcome back to our homestead. In these tough times, about to get tougher, food is so important for your family. You can store up a lot, but it's important to grow a lot for your family and to potentially barter and trade with your neighbors. Today we are creating a new garden plot for the family, and hopefully in the future that will be used for market gardening. I really want to get into that so we can sell healthy foods to other people. I'll just be doing the beginning steps today because it is a multi-step process that takes a little while if you need to create that new garden plot on really nasty raw land like we have on the other property. That's what we started to do about 1.5 years ago outside of our main garden space, but now we need to do that on a much larger scale. The more that you can grow, the better. I did a video on this garden a few years ago about how big it needs to be for a family of 4 to grow enough food and the challenges of having a small garden space. Let's get started. We're going to head through the woods to the other property. So I've scoped out this property for a long time on where to put an off-grid cabin for guests and also for growing things. I've got to take down a few trees. There's just like random trees in the center of the property that aren't going to add any good shade or anything to the space. So I'm going to take down that nasty, look at that thing, that nasty sweet gum right here. And here's another one, which is pretty gross if you can see it. And I've still got to clean up a few trees over here, but I think this space right here is going to be good right in front of, if you can see off in the background over there, are beehives. Or we can go over on this space right here, which is just adjacent to it, and this still gets some good sun. But like I said in a previous video, you really need to observe where the sun is on your property, where the flattest spaces are for growing, where the best spots are for things before you start, just randomly putting things anywhere, because you don't want to have to move them in the future. I've done that before and it's kind of a pain. And also just grab a compass or the compass app on your phone and figure out where south is. And if you are going to do anything like solar for your off-grid cabin, make sure you know where you're going to lay that out and get good sun for your garden plot. So what we are starting with in this area is this really tough bahia hay grass and a lot of woody stemmed weeds that are all over the place. So we're going to need to knock this down by mowing it, because that's the only way we're going to get this out of here. Unless I have the fire department out here to do a controlled burn, which I don't see happening. We've got to mow it down and mow it down as close to the ground as we can get it. So the purpose of this video is to help you guys out if you're just starting out on a raw piece of property with some nasty stuff like this. So over here on this side, you can see a lot of these, I believe these are sumac, correct me if I'm wrong, a lot of these sumac little trees coming up everywhere in this space. And these, I can't really mow over the top of them, although that Toro mower that I have will handle them. So I'm gonna cut all these little stick trees down over here with this battery powered pole saw. I don't currently have my brush cutter attachment with me, so that'll work just fine, and then I'll mow over the top of it. That should take care of everything. Now I'll talk more about these silage tarps a little bit later. I get this one from Farm Plastic Supply, and this is a 6 mil. It's got white on one side and black on the other, which is really important. But when I pull this out to tarp everything, I'll show you that. All right, so here's what we got. We've got it mowed down to about 1 inch, and we've actually got some pretty decent dirt under there, and the hay is actually fairly sparsely populated throughout here, and that's a good thing. So you can see how this hay grows. I don't know if this is called rhizomus or not, but this is what it looks like when it's mowed really close to the ground, and these things are nasty. So it's going to take a while to get this stuff out, but I'm pretty happy with how this soil looks. It's probably got a lot of decayed organic matter in it from all the hay in this area just dying back, and all the leaves from the sweet gum tree. So you can see it's starting to sprout for the springtime too. So we want to do all that we can to kill this off. So I don't want to till this if I don't have to, because I want to keep the microbiology in the soil the best that I can. So using this tarp, black side up, it's going to heat this ground up underneath. What that's going to do is encourage germination of any seed that's under here and the things that are already sprouting. And then it's going to kill it off because it's going to be starved of light. So that's what this silage tarp is going to do for you. And the thicker the better, because it's just going to last longer. So I'm going to get this tarp rolled out on this plot and anchored down, and then I will take you over to the garden and I'll show you exactly what that silage tarp has done to those fall cover crops that I planted. So I never bought sandbags to hold down these silage tarps. I always use just whatever spare block I have laying around, and that seems to work all right. And here's another challenge. Farm Plastic Supply was super kind and sent out a bigger piece than what I paid for. So it doesn't fit my space. So I'm gonna have to do the best that I can with what they gave me, which is very nice and I'm thankful. And doing this in the wind by yourself is not an easy task when you only have the 5mm plastic. It's not got enough weight to it to hold it down really well. Well, we got this done. Now let's go show you what the silage tarp can do on that plot next to the garden. This is going to take a while to kill off everything underneath it, but starting it now while everything was fairly dormant is a good time to do it. Well, here we are back by the garden. Under this tarp, I'll show you what's going on. So the silage tarp has worked really well to kill all of this off. What we did was we cut it down first and then put the tarp over, and you can see this is almost completely gone now. But right here at the edge, you can see where the sun got through a little bit. So if you have a difficult landscape like we do in some difficult grasses, this is how you do it to start off with. Cut it down as far as you can get and tarp it over with a good silage tarp. So this method works in between plantings as well. If you've already created your bed and you've got some things growing in it, you've harvested them, and you want to cover it up and get rid of those weed seeds, cover it up with this silage tarp. They will sprout out and then die underneath the plastic. You can also pull back the plastic and flame weed everything and then put the plastic back. An important tip is to keep as much moisture as you can underneath the tarp. So on the new one over there, I will periodically spray it down or hose it down underneath, and that's going to accelerate any decomposition that's happening under there. If you found today's video informational, please give it a like and leave me a comment in the comment section below. Now go click on this video right here, which shows you how we built that greenhouse behind us by ourselves. Have a beautiful, blessed day. We'll see you next time.